What you just saw is like my second ever attempt to color grading. That's mainly because I'm firstly a photographer and then I'm an hybrid photographer. And that means I use film and digital both. And I found my balance for that to kind of match and be consistent using the two mediums. What I always felt was lacking is something that could go well also for video making. And that was the first reason I was really happy when the answer people contacted me, because that was a plugin I already looked into before. For some reason I never bought it. This could be a good occasion to step up on the on some video making skills. And yeah, that's the reason this was my second time using a vlog. So yes, let me talk a bit more about what I like and what I don't like about Dehancer. I just wanted to show real quick the main controls you can find on the Dehancer plugin. The first thing you notice is that this process is kind of slow. The biggest issue with me using the Adobe Lightroom plugin, you have to open the single image manually, and that would be kind of slow for sessions or weddings or whatever. So I can see myself using the plugin for like personal stuff or something, not so much for other things. Even though there are a few film stocks that I really wanted to like have in my workflow that I can find elsewhere. My only complaint about this is that it's kind of slow to navigate into the different menus, and I'd appreciate a slider to move faster. On the other hand, I just really love how many things we can switch, we can work on in the plugin, starting from some basic correction like exposure and temperature compensation, tint, and then the fringe. Then we see ticking the box enables the correction to be operative. And here we have film developer that ideally mimics what you can do during the development phase of the film. So you can add some contrast, correct gamma, and color separation. I'm just going to quickly show a few. Then we have film compression. I don't really use this much, so I'm just gonna leave it for now. Same for expand, grain. Well, grain is kind of important. Same to all the way through. You see, we have inside the color curve histogram, not curves, the color histogram and exposure histogram. That's kind of helpful too. One of my favorites really is elation, because this really gives some film vibe to it all, as well as bloom. which also, well, maybe not so heavily casted. Let me see. I'm doing this very live. I have been using the plugin not long now, still discovering how it works and stuff. Well, then this was totally random, but it's already kind of nice in the output we got. So we can either click OK and then go back to the Lightroom main menu. Last thing I wanted to show you was all the different film stocks that you can pick. So what I like most is the level of control one has, and also the kind of, I'd say, the scientific degree of control you have, together with the number of film stocks simulations. And now I have my image back in Lightroom, and I can apply the final touches and go ahead and save it. I'm gonna leave you with a few before and after so that you can see some examples. I loved how this turned out in comparison with another preset I use sometimes, because sometimes the problem with film simulation is that you don't get a credible look. Instead, with Dehancer, I think this really works. And now let's see how the Adobe Premiere plugin works. I am once again surprised by the amount of things we can control within the plugin. Starting from the number of film simulation. I actually wanted to try something new. So in the tab you find all the controls we've already seen in the plugin for Lightroom. Here's my final clip, and let me show you what I applied and how. I didn't touch any of the exposure temperatures timed. I did correct it a bit here. The contrast and timed and so on, as well as the curves. I applied Kodak Portra 800, my favorite film stock. It's also the one I use probably the most in home, together with Ilford Delta 3200. So yeah, I enabled the film grain and 60 millimeters halation, some film breadth, and a gate wave. Sorry, the same baby I'm holding in the clip I'm holding now if you're hearing sounds. Yeah. The nicest thing is that you can, when you're satisfied with a look, you can export a lot, your own lot, by simply clicking here. Then you name it and you're all set. We went from this to this in very little time. Love it. Wrapping up, the answer for Adobe Premiere Pro proved to be exactly the tool I was looking for. I'm super happy about that, and I'm certainly going to use it a lot in the future. If you found the video helpful, I'd be grateful for a thumbs up and follow, and I hope to do more of this kind of review. I really enjoyed doing it. Who knows? If you think Dehancer might be the right tool for you, you might use my code, which is NadiaChrome, for a nice little discount. And this will help you, both you and me. So thank you, and goodbye.